Imagine this. You receive a text. Just 3 words. Hey, who's this? You didn't recognize the number, but the area code looks familiar. Maybe it's someone from back home, or maybe it's someone from work. So you reply with, "Who's this?" No big deal, right? Another message comes. "Oh, sorry. Got a new phone. Was trying to reach someone else. But hey, if you ever think about remote work, we're hiring." Then comes the link. And without thinking, you click it. And nothing loads. A few minutes later, your phone slows down. Your Instagram logs you out. And your bank texts you, "Did you authorize a $2,500 wire transfer?" This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't random. You didn't just get scammed. You got targeted by a cybercriminal ring that may be halfway around the world. Or maybe just a guy scamming people out of his basement in Ohio. It started with a "who's this?" and it ended with your identity in someone else's hands. So today on Midweek Sitrep, we're breaking down those annoying spam texts, scam calls, and shady emails you receive. And more importantly, we're going to look at what's really behind them and how you can protect yourself. Hey everybody, welcome to Midweek Sitrep, your bi-weekly briefing on what's going on in national security. My name is Jerry Fowler, and I'm your host. Every other week, I break down what you need to know and what you might have missed in the world of national security, all in under 20 minutes, so you can stay mission focused. Before we do a deep dive into the world of scams, let's discuss what we should be monitoring in the world of national security since our last episode. On May 14th, 2025, the Bureau of Industry and Security announced expanded export compliance expectations for companies involved in AI-related semiconductors. Although the Biden-era AI diffusion rule was rescinded, BIS emphasized the need for increased due diligence to prevent the diversion of U.S. technology to adversarial military applications. As of May 22nd, 2025, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, or CFIUS, remains divided over Nippon Steel's $14 billion bid to acquire U.S. Steel. Some members believe national security concerns can be addressed through mitigation measures, while others oppose the deal. A final decision now rests with President Trump, who has 15 days to respond to the panel's recommendation. During the 15th BRICS Trade Ministers meeting held in Brazil, India called for the removal of export controls among BRICS member countries. The proposal aims at facilitating trade within the bloc and improving supply chain resilience in critical sectors. In May 2025, the United States and the United Arab Emirates finalized an agreement to establish the largest artificial intelligence campus outside of the U.S. The deal involves UAE-based company G42 and follows the easing of previous restrictions on advanced chip exports to the UAE. This move is part of a broader effort to counter China's influence in regional AI development. Stay ahead by monitoring how these stories evolve. Now, let's talk about scams. Scams today aren't just a tech problem. They're a global threat that touches national security, economics, and even trust in institutions. State-backed actors like China, Russia, and North Korea, they use cyber operations to steal money, data, and information. Now, if you're an insider, you know we've talked about these regimes and their activities in episodes 2, 3, and even 4. You should start seeing a theme of how it's all connected. See, but they're not the only ones. There's transnational criminal networks. So think scammed call centers in India or malware as a service from Eastern Europe. They're running global phishing rings. Then you have domestic cyber criminals that use these same tools to steal from Americans and to fund illegal activity. And now, AI-enhanced lone wolves can run convincing scams with almost no technical skill. So whether it's state-sponsored espionage or a global scam ring, the results are the same. You're now in the front lines of a growing threat. So how does this happen? You've seen the signs. That random text with a link, a call claiming to be from your bank, a fake invoice emailed to your work address, or how about a QR code at a gas station that routes payments through a shady crypto wallet? See, these are more than just one-off scams. They're part of engineered campaigns used by China's APT-41, espionage plus cybercrime, or North Korea's Lazarus Group, crypto theft and ransomware. Then there's Russia's GRU, phishing for political disruption, or transnational scam syndicates that offer industrial-scale fraud with human call centers and AI chatbots. But then there's also the small-time fraudsters in the US, targeting seniors, investors, and small businesses. So let's talk about some real examples. How about a defense contractor clicking a fake LinkedIn post and then China getting access to classified aerospace data? Or a US executive wiring $25,000 after a scammer used a voice deepfake of their boss? Then there's a scam QR code at a gas station redirecting payments through a sanctioned North Korean crypto wallet. These aren't flukes. They're the new normal, and it's time to get prepared. Okay, so at this point, you might be wondering, how can I protect myself? We're talking North Korea, China, Russia, these scam syndicates. What can I do to survive? Well, here are digital survival tips. Here's 5 ways that you can stay alive in this information war. The first, don't click anything you didn't expect. Whether it's a text, an email, a pop-up, just don't click it. 2, verify before you trust. Even if it looks like someone you know, make sure it is. There's ways that people can call and clone voices, and it could sound like your mother, your father, your brother, sister, your boss, anyone. Make sure you're verifying. 3, use multi-factor authentication. It's your digital seatbelt. I know it's annoying and you have to go through those extra steps, but it can save you. 4, keep your devices updated. Think of updates as armor. And again, I know it can be annoying to click and let the updates run, but you have to do that. And 5, be suspicious of urgency. Scammers want you to panic so you don't think. They want to keep you on the hook and make you think you have no options. So before you make any sudden moves or respond to any of these threats, take a second, take a deep breath, and think about it. Now let's talk about why you shouldn't answer that unknown number. Now I know when the phone starts ringing and you look at it and you don't know it, but it might be somebody important. Maybe it's your same area code. Maybe your boss got a new number. Maybe your friend got a new number and it's ringing. So you answer it and you say, hello? And you hear nothing. Sometimes you'll hear a click and then you'll hear some automated voice start talking to you and then you hang up. Well, here's why you might not want to do that. If you answer that random or spoofed call, especially one that looks like it's from your hometown area code, you might be doing more harm than good. Here's why. Your number might already be on a list from a data breach or a dark website. So the second you pick it up, scammers now know that it's a live human monitored number, and that makes you more valuable. Now you're more likely to be targeted again with more calls, more phishing texts, and more dangerous scams. So the bottom line here, let it go to voicemail. If it's important, they'll leave a message. Now for businesses, train your teams on social engineering threats, conduct regular phishing tests, and build a culture of digital hygiene, especially with your remote teams. But here's what really matters for you, the individual listener, my insider. Cybersecurity isn't about being a tech expert. It's about being alert. And it doesn't matter who you are not immune from these attacks. For example, In March 2016, John Podesta, chairman of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, received an email that appeared to be a Google security alert. It warned that someone had tried to access his account and urged him to reset his password immediately. A campaign staffer flagged the email as legitimate, which was a mistake, and Podesta clicked the link. That gave Russian military intelligence operatives access to his entire Gmail inbox. This wasn't an isolated event either. It was part of a broader phishing campaign by Russia's GRU, which also successfully infiltrated the Democratic National Committee, the DNC, by tricking multiple staffers into clicking similar fake password reset links. So what did it lead to? 20,000 plus DNC emails were stolen and later published by WikiLeaks. And that breach shaped public perception during the 2016 US election. And the US intelligence community concluded that the operation was state-sponsored interference designed to influence the outcome of the election. So every link you don't click, every sketchy call you ignore, every time you pause before reacting, that's you fighting back. Because today's scams are built to slip past firewalls and land in your pocket. You don't need to be paranoid. You just need to be prepared. So by now, you should know that cybersecurity is no longer optional or just an IT issue. It's an enterprise risk. For business leaders and compliance professionals, you have to know your company's exposure to phishing, impersonation, and supply chain vulnerabilities. Stay aligned with frameworks like NIST and CISA's Shields Up. Be proactive. Incident reporting rules are getting stricter, and the government expects resilience. Whether you're in finance, healthcare, defense, or education, cyber hygiene is now compliance hygiene. And we're seeing a shift. Attacks are faster, more automated, more personalized. Criminals are using AI to spoof emails, clone voices, and generate deepfakes. More attacks are targeting soft individuals, those small business owners, employees, or even children. The US is responding through sanctions, indictments, and cyber diplomacy. But we need to remember, prevention isn't just the government's job. It's ours too. It's time to up your game and protect yourself. So by now, you should know you're not just a bystander in a digital war. You're a potential entry point. Every scam call you ignore, every phishing link you delete, every app you think twice about downloading, those are acts of defense. Not for a company, for you, for your family, and, not to be corny, but for your country. This isn't just about protecting your data. It's about protecting what your data connects to. Because in this fight, the difference between resilience and exposure could come down to one click. Well, that's it for today's Midweek Sitrep. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, share, and stay engaged. While you're at it, stop by our store and pick up some merch. Link in the description and all social media accounts. I'm Jerry Fowler, and remember, everything is national security. See you next time. Midweek Sitrep with Jerry Fowler is an independent production of OpScent Media Group, LLC. The information provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, financial, or professional advice. Listeners should consult with a qualified professional before making any decisions based upon the content discussed. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host, Jerry Fowler, and any guest, and do not reflect the official policy, position, or endorsement of any current or former employer, client, government agency, military organization, educational institution, or any other entity for which the host, Jerry Fowler, may be affiliated. Mention of a company, product, or service does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation. Any references are provided for informational purposes only. This podcast does not disclose any classified, proprietary, or confidential information. All discussions are based upon publicly available information and personal expertise.
Everything's national security. OpSec Media Group, LLC.